Up next, we have Ethan Vorhes. He's a hemp and regenerative farm. That's the title of his talk. Ethan and his family raise beef, pork, and poultry on a non-GMO grain farm in northern Iowa. Ethan worked the last 2 years to transplant his family operation to hemp-legal state. He sees an opportunity to produce natural hemp-feed livestock to produce non-commodity meat with an advantageous flavor profile and unique nutritional story. This aggressive pivot from traditional agriculture led Ethan to be a stakeholder in Colorado's hemp-fed feasibility study group. Ethan is a steering committee member of HIA-led hemp-feed coalition. Ethan believes that hemp can help struggling family farms with high market value product that simultaneously advances restorative land management, federal approval for hemp and grain. Federal approval of hemp grain as livestock feed is a vital part of regenerating our environment, economy, rural communities, and society. Welcome, Ethan.
I grew up on a small livestock farm in north central Iowa. For the last couple of decades, we struggled with excess water from our neighboring farms. The runoff damaged our crops and made farming even more of a challenge than usual. These challenges forced us to focus on being better. We currently raise non-GMO crops and sell Wagyu beef. We plan to transition to a verified system of regenerative agriculture. Sustainability is not enough. We must regenerate the growing capacity of our land. Being a leader comes with responsibility. The United States has a responsibility to humanity as a world leader in carbon emissions to lead the effort to stabilize climate change. To conquer this challenge, we will need to focus on soil health and a regenerative way of thinking. By living like we can make a difference, we can do great things like end hunger and eliminate extreme poverty. People everywhere deserve basics like healthy food, clean water, and shelter from extreme heat and cold. In providing these basics to people, we can stabilize climate change by fighting things like desertification with holistic planned grazing in the arid regions of the world. We must be better managers of our resources if we're going to reach the greatest goal of all, peace in our time. I believe we can accomplish the unthinkable by focusing on agriculture and creating carbon-negative farms. These farms of the future won't look much different than our farms do now. The biggest difference will be the crops in the fields. Soil health and carbon sequestration are tied to how we manage more than anything. A land use shift to include more perennials will support the reintegration of livestock to the land and create an opportunity for farmers to better utilize cover crops and the forages that they produce. These changes will come with great benefits to our soils and waters. To manage these changes, farmers will need to adopt new technologies as well as some old. A couple of certainties of such a transition would be the need for more people on the farms to tend the additional livestock, as well as the need to capture the biogases that accompany the animals. Amongst the need to heal our soils is the need to heal our people. One of the ways we treat the rising epidemic of diseases is through healthy food. Although specifically what that looks like will vary from person to person, one constant is the need for local foods. I, for one, believe that animal proteins and fat are an essential part of a healthy diet. Regardless of your choice of animal or plant-based diet, fats are an essential and healthy part of the diet in proper amounts. Beyond eating the proper amounts of fat in the diet, ratios of the different fatty acids are very important to health and are affected by the diets of the animal and the genetics of the plants. There's only one plant that has all the essential fatty acids for human health, and coincidentally, it also has the ideal balance of omega-3 to 6, hemp. Hemp as a food is in many things from granola bars to ice cream. and as an ingredient in many foods from salad dressings to pastas. Beyond what hemp can do for health as a food, it is being used medicinally by people of all walks of life. In 4 years of traveling and researching hemp, I have met countless people who have suffered and found relief from their symptoms with hemp extracts and cannabinoids. Cannabidiol is the primary cannabinoid being extracted from hemp. CBD, for short, is best known for being a powerful anti-epileptic, and for the first time in June of 2018, became the first federally approved cannabis-derived medicine with the FDA's approval of GW Pharmaceuticals' Epidiolex. Many people I've heard testimonies from have had tremendous success in dealing with pain and using a variety of CBD products. The list of conditions or diseases that I have heard people claim benefit from is too long to list. While it rarely gets mentioned in mainstream media, our choices in clothing have a significant impact on the environment. Cotton uses more chemicals than any other crop in the world. Hemp offers us a strong fiber with many great properties that can be cultivated organically with ease. It's been said that hemp clothes don't wear out, but they break in, becoming softer with time. Hemp fiber is antimicrobial, so it has great potential in the medical industry for things like gowns and sheets in hospitals. It's these great qualities that made hemp a suitable choice for sails and cordage that brought explorers to America back in the 15th century. Another example of regenerative apparel is leather. When farmers use livestock and healthy crop rotations to heal the soils, the animals' hides can become regenerative. Not only is leather fashionable, but it's practical. I have been part of the hemp-feed coalition championing the return of hemp as a feed ingredient for animals. At the Hemp-Feed Coalition, we are a hub of information. We have compiled all the relevant research known to exist and have gathered many university-based proposals to research hemp as an animal feed. There are a few paths to regulatory approval for hemp as an ingredient for animals, but we are currently working on 2 routes: a food additive petition to the FDA, as well as working with AFCO to submit an ingredient definition. Both paths are going to take time to get a full approval because of the lack of usable scientific data and the complexity of different species, life stages, ingredients, and public safety. We are continually raising money to help facilitate research projects that will help fill gaps in data. I believe hemp will be instrumental in creating regenerative systems that heal soils and provide excellent nutrition. Hemp is well known for outcompeting weeds with its strong canopy and its roots for leaving soils in better condition for the following crops. The products coming off these farms will help regenerate society. Renewable energy has many forms. One form is the biogases coming from our animal feeding operations. Another is biodiesel and ethanol. The environmental impact of creating these fuels is going to vary greatly based on the methods used to create them, but surely will have a role in creating a new bioeconomy, turning crop waste into liquid fuels. Solar, wind, and advanced electronics have a place on more than just our farms, but their inclusion will help us break free from our dependence from the electrical grid. As scientists create advancements in energy storage solutions like supercapacitors, hybrid batteries made from graphene from our farms, we will be able to reliably manage remote areas without building costly electrical infrastructure to hook to the grid and radically change how we view energy. Another way we change our trajectory is through our building materials. Carbon negative materials like hempcrete can help us save energy as well as tie up carbon. This is done by taking the woody core of the hemp stalk, then blending it with lime and water. The mixture hardens to a concrete-like hardness, but acts as insulation. Hempcrete comes with some amazing properties like being fireproof, mold and mildew resistant, and the fact that it continues to sequester carbon as it hardens over time. This is just one way hemp is being turned into a regenerative substitute for traditional building materials. One of the last things I want to touch on is paper. It's been said that hemp makes a superior paper. I was under the impression for many years when we chose plastic over paper while shopping for groceries and supplies that it was to save trees and the environment. My new way of thinking is paper is the regenerative choice. The source of the paper and the plastic is what ultimately determines whether any good comes from my choice. Both plastics and paper can be made efficiently from our hemp crops stalks. If humanity is going to survive another century on this planet, we need to convert agriculture into a force of regeneration. Our choices in food, clothing, energy, and building materials will either heal our lands or continue to ravish them. Although these are global problems, we as Americans need to take the lead. Our duty is to elect an administration that treats climate change as a crisis and not a hoax. An administration that realizes that in soil lays our salvation.
Awesome. Thank you, Ethan.